Ready? Sissy?
Let's do it. 84 Chevrolet K30 with a 350 V8, turbo 350. We're taking the old Quadrajet off and we're sticking an Edelbrock 500 CFM ABS2 carburetor on there. Part number 1902, manual choke. The reason why I'm going with manual choke is because I like to be in charge of the choke, the amount of choke, the idle that the choke is set at. And I know it's old school, but it seems like I spend a lot of time fiddling around with electric chokes, getting the proper fast idle going, whether or not it's kicking down at the proper time, whether or not the flap is closing enough when it's warm, yada yada yada. So we're just going with the manual choke. I like the manual choke. So anyway, it's a little bit cheaper. And then we have the adapter plate to go from Quadrajet to Edelbrock carburetor. And that part number is that right there. We've got the choke cable. And then we have the choke cable clamp assembly, which I don't think that we need because it's already on there. So come along with me as we change the carburetor. I'm sure that the Quadrajet at some point was a good carburetor 35 years ago, but I don't think any of the vacuum solenoids are operating on it, and I don't exactly know what they do, and they must not do too much because the thing runs halfway decent at this point with them not functioning correctly, but it has a difficult time kicking down off fast idle with the choke, and it's running a little rich, and it has the Quadrajet bog, and you know, sometimes you just gotta know when to give up and to go with the fresh and new. And the fresh and new is a little bit simpler. You've got far less stuff. All the experiences I've had with Edelbrock carburetors have been, knock on wood, good. It's pretty much a bolt-on. You adjust your mixture screws, and you're on your way. Got the choke cable ran in here, and I was a little bit worried about sharp angles because I didn't want to drill a hole in the dash, and it's really tough to get to, because I would have ran it right next to the distributor there, but the heater box and the ducting and stuff is right in the way. So I came in over there by the accelerator pedal cable. So I just figured out where I wanted to drill the hole, and so I put it right there. And that's not exactly where I wanted to put it, but I didn't want to drill another hole in the dash, and there's nothing flat on this dashboard. I kind of wanted to do it below the tank switcher, but then when you put your cup holder in there, it's kind of difficult to get to. So that's where it is. So I just ran it through, and then drilled my hole, ran it through, and I was worried about angles with the cable, but it seems to slide in and out just fine. And then get everything pushed through there. I just took the center cable out, so it was just the sheathing, and got it all fitted and cut, and then put the inner cable that slides back and forth up through there, and put the carburetor on, and then marked it and cut that off as well. Adapter plate, put your gasket down, and then you put that down there, and then you've got actually their Phillips head screws that go into there, attaching it to the manifold. Okay, so the back of your carburetor has that port, and I believe that's for power brakes. So they usually supply a plug with it, but they did not. So I just happened to have a plug, so throw a little pipe sealant on there. And so the plate, the carburetor doesn't want to sit down on top of it, and I believe that one looks like it's slightly bent inward. So I put the nut on it, and I'm going to take a small hammer and see if I can persuade it over. Okay, we're installed. got our choke cable hooked up. We have our fuel line hooked up. I need to see if the air cleaner is actually going to fit over the top of that, because I had problems with my Ford not sitting down over the top of the carburetor. I actually welded the knob that came off of the old carb onto the new carb so I could mount my throttle cable. I believe Edelbrock sells a kit that is applicable for the Chevrolet 350. Anyway, so we're going to fire it up. I'm running my vacuum advance off of ported vacuum. The 460 I ran off of manifold vacuum, which is the right one. I have plugged that, so we're just going to, since it was already on there, we're going to fire it up, and I'm going to probably test the two of them, and that's old vacuum line, that's why it's so short. I didn't pick up any vacuum line. So basically the manifold vacuum pulls more vacuum than the ported vacuum. It's good for some engines, it's not good for other engines. So we'll. Okay, it has started. It took a little while to get the gas into the carburetor. It is a mechanical pump. Let's step over here. But it fired right up. I need to adjust the idle on the choke, but it is idling. I have not touched the mixture screws. Can you see the mixture screws right there, honey? So they should be about 1.5 out. You want to achieve the highest idle, so back them back down, and then it starts to stumble, and then go half, full, and it feels like it runs a little smoother right there. Let me go over the other one. Starts to idle starts to go down. Don't bottom it out hard, just bottom it. And go half. Full. And start to go down a little bit. And then back it off a little bit. Right there. So that seems to be the smoothest right there. And then you've got your idle, which is idling just fine. I have not touched the idle. So the idle is not high enough when the choke is engaged, the manual choke. So you press the throttle wide open and see that little screw down there? You turn it clockwise to increase.
I see smoke.
Yeah, it's fine, honey. Don't worry about it.
Sure?
So we're going to go one whole turn, which might be too much, but that's the beauty of the manual choke, is the fact that you can adjust that however you want. You are in control of the choke, whereas the electric choke, I am constantly fiddling with that choke to make it perfect, and to start perfect, and to idle perfect. So, you know, the electric choke might be good for somebody. I'm done with it. I'm going to go to the manual choke. The 68 Ford had the manual choke. I loved it because you can just, you close it all the way, you fire it up, and then you push it back in to the idle that you want. Some vehicles need more choke, some vehicles need less choke. So we have completed the installation of the Edelbrock carb. And some people may not like the Edelbrock carb, and it may not be the best for high performance, but this truck is not a race car. This truck goes to the dump, and it goes to the cabin, and other stuff maybe. Right, honey?
Yep.
Thanks for watching.